Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It is Thursday, February 22nd, and we are here trying to help you make sense of your financial choices, maybe even to think about what is a priority for you and get a game plan together and get you on track or get you on a new track. But we don't want you to feel bad about this. We just want you to join us no matter what your situation. When I say we, I mean me, Jill Schlesinger, and he is Mark Talercio. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Jill. How are you filling your weekends without football?
I'm just going across the world to try to escape. I guess that it's time to get re-engaged in hockey season. But even that, I'm very happy. I'm a very big NFL fan. It's just sort of ritualistic for me. Whereas my mate is a huge hockey fan, but she can't focus on the game because she gets too nervous. She doesn't even enjoy it. So that's kind of annoying. She loves the sport. She loves her team, but she can't really watch it actively. So I don't get that.
It's such a long season too. I mean, I love it when the playoffs roll around, but the regular season it's a drag.
Yeah. So I guess I'm going to get into curling. No, I'm just kidding. I'm good with, I pay attention to sports, but I don't actively watch any other sport. I really don't, because I can read about it and that's interesting, but I don't know why. I do love that football season. Anyway, today we're joined by Mary, who's sporting a very cool accent, even though this is her great Pennsylvania accent. Mary, hit us with that Pennsylvania accent, babe.
Hello from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, that doesn't sound like anything. If I had to make you sound like an American, what would it sound like? Because Mary is from Ireland. So what's an American accent? Give us your best Irish.
You want me to do an American?
Yeah, do it.
Accent? Oh God. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing? How you doing? I like that. All right, Mary, what brings you to us?
So I need some, I guess financial advice. I have a specific thing that I'm pregnant and I'm trying to work out how to finance maternity. But beyond that, it all feeds into the larger question of, like you said, I'm Irish, and one of the big life questions we have is, can we actually afford to stay in America and retire in America? And it was a question that I'd never thought about until I started listening to your show and heard everybody who said, can I retire when I'm 55? Can I retire when I'm 56? And it made me think, can I ever retire?
Ever is what most people feel like. Don't worry, right. Mary. So first of all, congratulations that you're pregnant. How old are you?
I am 42.
Okay. And do you have a partner?
I do, a husband.
And how old is your husband?
He is 45.
Okay, great. When are you due?
I'm due in August.
Oh, a Leo. Okay.
Yes.
And this is your first?
Second child.
Okay. And how old is the first child?
4.
You got to have your hands full. Oh, brother.
Yes.
Okay. So, are you guys both working, or what's happening?
We are, yeah. So my husband works for a pharmaceutical company, and I work for a nonprofit.
Well, maybe that's why you can't retire. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
Come on.
That's very true. Yeah.
How much do you earn at the non-profit? I wrote non-retirement instead of nonprofit. I'm not even kidding. Okay, how much you earn at the nonprofit?
83,000.
83,000. And what about Mr. Pharmaceutical sellout? What does he earn?
150.
Okay, great. I mean, just forgetting about the actual maternity, but right now, 150 plus 83, one child. How is your cash flow going? How's it going for you guys?
I think it would have been fine for us. I'll also backtrack and say we don't own a home. So part of it is we've been trying to save towards a home. So we've been able to put money away with the money. We're not big spenders. But we do have some pretty big outgoings, like the childcare is pretty expensive, and our rent is pretty expensive.
Okay.
And I feel like we could probably do better in terms of budgeting, but we spend probably around $8,000 a month.
How much better are you going to do? You don't make that much money, and you got a kid, and you have to live. What's your rental? How much is that?
It's like $2,600.
That's good. How much have you been saving on this combined income? Are you both putting money into retirement and then also saving on top of that?
Not a lot, and the reason being that we've had some pretty big expenses when we first moved over here. we were paying for my father-in-law, who's since passed away, his nursing home, and we've had to send money home while we've been here for our parents, and then my current pregnancy is through IVF, and we financed that ourselves. So we've had some pretty big. That was coming up to around $50,000 that cost us. We've had quite a lot of big expenses that have sort of prohibited us from being super good savers.
But you have children, so there's that.
The first 2 years that I was here, I was not working. I didn't intend for that to happen, but my daughter was born about 3 months before COVID happened. So we couldn't find childcare for her, so I could go back to work.
But now here you are. You're working.
I'm working, and I really don't want to lose my job.
All right. So let's do a few. So you paid for. You helped your father-in-law. You've got done IVF. Do you have any debt that is outstanding from those big expenses? Okay, so that's huge. That's great.
We have around 82,000 in a savings account that has about 4.8% interest. My husband, I have not been paying into my 403B until this year. My husband has been paying into his 401k, and he has about 95,000 in that.
Great. That's great. All right.
We do both have, because we moved out here quite late in life, we both do have pensions at home. But we lived in Belfast, which is Northern Ireland in the United Kingdom, and the salaries are pretty low, and our pensions reflect that. And so we don't have huge amounts of money at home.
But can you get Bushmills for a good price?
Yeah, I mean, the cost of living at home is pretty cheap. You could buy a house for $280 or something, unlike where we are now.
But you don't. All right, I was about to say you don't, but let me ask you a better question. So what would you ideally like to happen? Stay in the U.S.?
Yeah, I just feel like for our kids particularly, I want them to have a better quality of life. Like, I grew up in Belfast in the 80s and the 90s, and I don't know what you know about the politics of Northern Ireland in the 80s and 90s, but it wasn't particularly delightful. And I want something better for my kids, and it's part of the reason why we moved out here. There's just so much more opportunity here, particularly for an outdoor lifestyle, and we're trying to maintain that, but I'm afraid I don't want to be a burden on my kids when I'm 70, and that's kind of.
I just want to be clear that I know everything about Belfast because I watch Dairy Girls. So I've just put you into that show as a character in my head.
Literally, that's exactly my timeline there. That's like 1995.
Yeah.
I love that show. It's fabulous.
Okay, good. Then I know first of all, let's try to make this work right now where you are. Okay.
Right.
So what is the policy when August rolls around and baby Jill or Mark is born? What is their what's their maternity policy there?
We have short-term disability, so I get 3 months at 60% of my salary.
Okay,
but I'm just about to get a new boss, and I'm trying to find a way to negotiate with her that I might get an extra 3 months unpaid leave, so I can. I mean, where I'm from, you get a year's maternity, and I know it's very, very difficult for
but you never
women
know.
here.
But maybe
women here are amazing that they make it all work. But
they are not amazing. There's no choice. So it's not like everyone's so amazing. It's like everyone adapts to a crap system. So okay, I know you want to buy, but are you happy in the rental?
We're fine. It's small. It's only 1,100 square foot. I know you live in New York, so that might be massive. But for here, it's pretty. For here and for 2 kids, it's pretty small. But we're fine. You know, we're Irish. People in Ireland don't have gigantic houses, so we can do. But we're fine. Our landlord occasionally hints that he might be selling the house, and that's our only real concern. But this is just a really horrible time to be trying to buy a house. So
what if you bought? I'm sorry. What if you rented a larger place that you would like more? Would that end up being like $3,500 a month or $4,000? What do you think it would cost you to move into a larger place, especially once you have the baby?
Maybe 3,000, 3,500. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
You are got your health care.
Yeah.
Your benefits through you or through your husband's job?
My husband's job.
And you said you saved up all this money, this 80 grand, right? So
we had some of it we brought over. We owned a house that we sold in Belfast, but then I paid down my mum's mortgage with some of that, and we gave some money to family.
Oh my God, with these family members sucking you dry. You got to now take care of yourself and your kids. All right, Mark.
Well, yeah, so some of it we had and the rest of it we saved.
Okay. So, but right now, again, it's going to be a rough year, obviously. The second half of the year, is going to be hard, but you have the money in savings to supplement your maternity, right? So you have the baby, it's August, so you get paid for, let's say September, October, November, or August, September, October. And then you dip into your savings just to pay for hopefully another 3 months, right? And then you go back to work, and then you're going to have you're not going to be able to save any money because you're going to have daycare needs. Like, who's going to take care of this baby when you go back?
My 4-year-old isn't eligible for daycare for kindergarten for another year. So we'll have 2 kids we have to pay daycare for.
Mark, you're going to have to you're going to have to step up into this conversation because I'm out of my expertise.
I was going to say that's where living in New York City is great because the public school starts for 3-year-olds.
Oh. Yeah, it's the same in Ireland, but they don't start here until 5. And because my daughter was born in October, she has to do an extra year of childcare.
Okay, so
and the childcare, what we're currently paying for her is about $16,000 a year.
Oh my gosh!
Well, that's going to be over soon, but then you got another one, so.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I feel like we've just elongated the pain. We've drawn it out. It's going to be like another 5 years.
Yeah.
Of paying for this.
Well, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I am sort of the mind that you should just take the whole idea of buying a place off the table right now. Because I feel like that you're putting pressure on yourself, not necessary. So you're going to use your savings. How much is your husband putting into his 401k?
13% goes into 401k and then 2% goes into a Roth or something.
Mark, what do you think? I'm sure that they match up to like 6%.
No, 3%. They match up to 3%.
Up to 3%.
Same as my employer. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mark, what do you think about pulling back on this retirement contribution while baby 2 is born? What do you think about that?
Yeah, at least temporarily, just kind of relieve some of the pressure. I mean, I would. I don't know how she feels about that because she's kind of worried about being able to ever retire.
Ever's a long time, Mary. It really is. I mean, you're going to be in your mid 40s. Your husband will be, he'll be 50. The kids will be in school. You guys will keep working. Now,
we're late at everything. We were a bit late to the game for everything. And I'm happy to keep working. I think I'd go crazy if I retired it early, but I don't want to be a financial burden to my children. And we don't have a house. We don't have equity building in anything.
You know why?
I don't know how
You know why she feels so strongly about that? Because look at how much money they just spent on family members.
I know these people who will never take care of her because your kids are going to, unfortunately for you, your kids are going to grow up like spoiled Americans. So they won't take care of you. No, I'm just kidding. Are you done with?
That's what I want.
Are you
not spoiled, but not to feel like they have to take care of us.
Okay. Here's the thing. Are you done taking care of family members in Ireland?
More or less. The odd time we'll have to send stuff just for house repairs and things like that. But yeah, more or less.
I feel like you really need to be like really done. I know that sounds terrible, but you now need to really take care of your own situation. And I think that what you should be considering is while you're still working, obviously, if you can get that 3 months unpaid, that would be great. But I think you have the money that you are putting into retirement right now. You can put, let's say that you both go to, let's say he goes instead of 13%, let's say he does 10% total. And you go to your 3 month, are you putting 3% in or are you putting more than that in?
I just upped it to 4%.
That's fine. That's fine. So keep that. And then I think you should really continue to put money into savings because that's what's going to float you in the second half of the year when you're on maternity leave. And then, I mean, look, you can live in 1,100 square feet if you want, but if you're really sweating it and it's very tight and you're going to go back to work and, you feel settled, I don't have a problem with you going and spending $3,000 or $3,500 a month. I mean, it's just, you're going to have to live. I do think that you need a relief on your cash flow, especially in this crossover year for the older one till she can go into kindergarten. And you want to build up. And then all that's going to happen is once the kids are both in school and the relief you feel it'll be palpable is that you're going to just build up your retirement account contributions. And what happens to the Irish pensions, even though they're small? Do you have to live there to claim?
No, and I have to look into whether or not I can carry them over here. I've been trying to do that a bit over the weekend, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. But that's something that we should definitely look into.
Look, you grew up in a goddamn war zone, okay? And now you are raising you will be raising 2 children in this idyllic, beautiful place. So I think that maybe you ought to take a deep breath and say, gosh, we are really fortunate about where we are. And your life is going to be better. Their lives are going to be better. You're going to work longer. So what? So you're going to, you sound like you're a worker. So it doesn't seem like the worst. It doesn't seem like the worst outcome. It's just that there's a lot of pressure right now. There's a real, timeline pressure that we have to address. And I think you can address it. Thank God. Don't worry about the house. Keep renting for a while and let's see where things land with the kids, and don't be rushing back. Even though I hear Belfast is quite beautiful now, you've made your choices. You've come here. You're making a good living. You're doing it. You just have to give yourselves a little bit of a break. Are you citizens or green card holders?
I'm a citizen, and my husband is currently going through his application for citizenship.
Do you guys have your estate planning done?
We do not. We're a big fat mess.
So that is actually something. Does he have a benefit through work that's a legal benefit?
I don't know. I could find out though.
Let's check that out, right? Very simple. Hey, we just need sweetheart wills. It's just that because you're a citizen and he's a green card holder, it's a little bit messy just to have that done. And what about life insurance through work? Do you have separate? What do you have?
I've just started getting life insurance and he has life insurance.
Okay.
With the savings that we have, should I just keep that in the savings account? Don't put it into, I've heard you talk about CD ladders.
You need but you need this money.
Okay.
I mean, Mark, do you think that, I guess you could do a 6-month CD. Possibly.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's getting for nearly 5% right now. I would just leave it there because who knows what's going to happen at the end of the year.
We don't know. And you might need it. And, let's have you access to that. All right. I'm so worried about Mary. I feel like
I'm not worried.
I love
she's
those.
Worried.
You're not? I'm worried because she's worried. Dairy Girls, for anyone who wants to watch, is amazing. And I think it's Netflix. And it is about this group of girls who grow up in Northern Ireland, and it's amid the Troubles, and it's very poignant. It is hysterical. Oh, by the way, Mark, I totally needed the subtitles. Couldn't understand a word they were saying. Could not understand a word they were saying, but it's so lovely. And what did you think of the movie Belfast? Did you see that?
I didn't see the movie Belfast. I find Kenneth Branagh stuff, it takes himself so seriously. I find it really hard to watch.
Oh, I love that. He's quite precious. Anyway,
he's lovely. He's a lovely man. But I just don't. It's very funny to watch a serious adaptation of where you've grown up, where the Dairy Girls, the humor is there, and that's really part of the community that I grew up in. Lots of laughing. No money, but lots of laughing.
Well, listen, that's, there is something to be said for maintaining a sense of humor. So I'm very delighted that you were able to reach out to us and that we can at least kind of steer you in the right direction. We are here for you if you need anything. Okay. Mark, now you're going to have to watch Dairy Girls. The first episode is absolutely drop dead hysterical. And by the way, the nun in that episode, Sister Mike, fantastic. Loved her. All right, gang, if you would like to run your maternity leave by us, we would love to hear from you. Go to the website, jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, and complete the form. And at the end of the form, it says, would you like to join us live? Check the box yes. And if you want to come on via video for the YouTube show, Jill on Money Powered by the Compound, check that box. Don't forget that all of our content lives right there on the website, including our free weekly newsletter. Mark puts that out every single Friday. He does an amazing job. And that Mark is Mark Talercio, the co-host, executive producer, and king of all things web. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Do me a favor. Put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.